My name's Barbara Denison with Holistic Nursing Consultants, and I am an advanced practice registered nurse and board certified as an advanced holistic nurse. And I work with people to help them with lifestyle and nutrition changes. I've got lots of services that you can look on my website to see if there's anything that would be helpful for you. I'm going to present you with an overview of an hour-long talk that I do monthly in my office in the consult room that is free. The topic of this overview is Match Your APO E Gene Type with You, Your Metabolism for a Healthier You. And it was developed by Pamela McDonald, a family nurse practitioner and integrative medicine nurse practitioner. She's actually written 2 books in 2007 and 2010. The Perfect Gene Diet is the most recent addition. The 2 programs that are trademarked are the Heart Health Watchers and the APO E Gene Diet. And I am licensed to use both of those programs in my office. I'm also a team member with Pam since 2008. I hope you'll take home from this talk a little understanding about what the APO E gene does and how knowing your genotype can benefit you. So what is this APO E gene? You can pronounce each letter separately, APOE, or some people say APO E gene. It was discovered in the early 1970s on chromosome 19. And genes are paired, and so we inherit one allele for a paired gene from each parent. And there are variations of this pair of the APO E gene that can influence your predisposition to certain illnesses. There's 3 APO E gene variations in humans. The APO E gene is a protein. It's composed of 299 amino acids, and it transports lipoproteins, which is a molecule that's a fat combined with a protein, fat-soluble vitamins, and cholesterol into our lymph system, and that's how then it gets into our blood. And it's a class of apolipoprotein found in the chylomicron, which is just a digested fat particle from the food we eat. It's also found in the intermediate density lipoproteins, and it's essential for the normal breakdown of our triglyceride-rich lipoprotein constituents. This is just a diagram showing you kind of that metabolism process. So from the chylomicron, then it becomes a very low density lipoprotein, and then the intermediate density lipoprotein. And then there's the 7 subfractions of our bad cholesterol, the LDL, and the 5 subfractions of our good cholesterol, the HDL, which is what helps clean our arteries and takes the excess cholesterol from the bloodstream back to the liver to get recycled. This chart shows the 3 main genotypes, APOE2, 3, and 4. Now, the majority of the international population is a 3-3, 64%, and when they eat out of balance, they can develop diabetes, which can go on to cardiovascular disease. But it's the APOE gene 4 that puts us at risk for cardiovascular disease and Alzheimer's disease. They constitute 25% of the international population. The 2s are 11%. The 2s are the ones that can have the most good fat in their diet. So what we do with the APO E gene is I instruct people how they can create this gene supportive environment at the cellular level, and they're eating the optimal percentage of good carbs, proteins, and fats for their particular genotype in the appropriate calories for their BMR and activity level, their basal metabolic rate. So what does this APO E gene do? It directs our body how to metabolize fat, carbohydrates, and protein. And you can think of it as a blueprint for this process. It's important for the cholesterol metabolism. And it really acts like a taxi to move blood fat and cholesterol around in the body. It has other functions, such as working for with inflammation and immune function, but I just want to focus on the cholesterol function for this short overview. We know fat and water do not mix, and the body has evolved a complex biochemical method of moving fats around through our blood system, which is water-based. That's how our oxygen and nutrients get to the cells. And of course, free-flowing fats in our system would clog clog it up. So our bodies package these fats and oils in little molecular suitcases, so to speak, to avoid contact with the water that's our blood. Now, the way this transports is the fat attaches or binds to the APO E gene, and that's through a cell-mediated process. And the shape and size of the fat varies depending on which APO E genotype carries it, whether it's a 2, 3, or 4, which I find fascinating. And depending which genotype we are, it can influence our risk of developing atherosclerosis, neurodegenerative disorders, including Alzheimer's disease. The APOE4, that structure is more of a loosely binded, the way the fat is attached to the APO E gene, and so it can oxidize easier, which is why it can contribute to more inflammation. So where is the APO E gene? We synthesize and secrete the APOE in all these different organs and tissues: the spleen, brain, liver, lung, kidney, peripheral nerves, muscular tissue, adrenal glands, ovary, and testes. And it's the liver parenchymal cells where the majority of the APOE producing cells are. They account for 60 to 75% of our circulating APOE. That's followed by the astrocytes. They're the ones producing it in the cells in the brain. And then our macrophages are our white blood cells that clean up foreign debris and infection. And the non-myelinating Schwann cells are what wrap around our peripheral nerve axons in the nervous system. So how can knowing our APOE gene type benefit you? Well, we can either help provide good health or impair our health depending whether we're eating the appropriate foods, anti-inflammatory foods, in the desired amount for our genotype, and if we're creating a gene supportive environment. It impairs our health if we're eating inflammatory foods and we maybe are exposed to a lot of toxins from our environment and don't manage our stress well. Knowing your APOE genotype really can be key to making the right match to help you create a supportive environment for an optimal level of cholesterol in your system. It also can improve and reverse risk factors related to heart disease and other chronic illnesses. Some common benefits that people really enjoy is the weight loss, decreased pain and anxiety, and having more energy. And you can also prevent your biology from catching up with you. You also learn to match your nutrition with your unique APOE gene. And there's an exercise prescription based on your APOE genotype because each of these genotypes have a dominant muscle fiber. So I can recommend the optimal percentage of aerobic and anaerobic exercise. There's educational materials, and I'm a big proponent of mindfulness and self-awareness and learning strategies such as meditation to help shift our perceptions related to stress. We all know one diet does not fit all. What works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another. But the APOE gene has been shown to be the #1 factor affecting how our body uses those big 3 macronutrients, our carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So each genotype has a preferred fuel source. And there's an optimal percentage of good carbohydrates, good protein, and good fat that is unique for each of these 6 genotypes. And when we get the right fuel at the right time, it's key in giving us more energy. And that way we can match our nutrition with our metabolism based on our APOE gene. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope it gave you a little bit of information about the APOE gene. If you decide you'd like to learn more and would like to do the APOE gene diet program, it just really involves about 3 appointments. I'd need an initial appointment to get to know you, and then we can do the testing is just a saliva buccal swab. And then once you get your results, you can be on your way and have as much help or as little help as you need with me. And so if you'd like to go to my website for more information or call the number on the screen to contact me, I do my own scheduling, so I'd be happy to hear from you.